All right, so we're up in Denver. I just picked up this hood and this rear diff. That's a manual rear diff, so I'm gonna weld that one. And then this hood, I'm gonna cut it open and run an open dump. All right, what's up guys? So on my way back from Denver, I stopped by my boy's house. He's doing an EGR delete and tune. But I wanted to ask you guys, what's up, Redden?
Hey, not much.
Should I buy his E92 6-speed, low miles for my wife? It's pretty nice. It's pretty clean. JB4, right?
Yeah, JB4.
JB4, basically full bolt on. 10 grand. Should I buy it? Then my wife and I could be stunting. It's pretty clean. Well, it's pretty dirty, but it's pretty clean. Let me know what you guys think. All right, we just got to the storage unit. I'm gonna put these parts in there and then I'm gonna take it for a spin, probably take it to dinner. Hey, what's going on everybody? So we just got back from Denver. I went up there to pick up a rear diff. It was just a manual rear diff. My last video, I'm still running my auto diff. The reason why I bought it is because I want to convert this car to a drift car. So I'm gonna weld that one, and then I end up picking up the guy I got it from. He had like a couple E90s up there, and I seen an LCI hood, and I was like, "Hey, bro, how much you want for it?" And then he was like, $40. So I ended up picking up that hood. It's got some hail damage, but what I'm gonna do is just run a hood exit straight from the turbo. So I think that'll be pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. But for today's video, we're just gonna talk about my radio, about what it is, where I got it from, and what I think about it. So it's an EONON radio. I got it from their website. I think it's like EONON.com or something like that. I'll put the link below. But basically, this is the home screen. Well, let's talk about the fitment. Okay, so the fitment, it's not bad. The only thing that bothers a lot of people is your HVAC controls are gonna sit out. They're not flush just because the screen's so big. So I thought it was gonna bother me a lot, but because I had to delete the ashtray because of the shifter, I can't really even tell anymore, so it's not that bad. Like, it doesn't bother me that much, and that was the reason why it took so long for me to buy this, because I've seen this a couple years ago. All right, so we're gonna talk about the functionality of the radio. So on the very first startup, it takes about 20 to 30 seconds to start up, and they'll have like this whole like Android, Google loading screen. But once it's start up for the day, it's pretty quick after that if you're like hopping in and out for errands. It's just the initial startup takes a little while. The screen is super responsive. No issues there. The best part is it's Android-based software, so you can download any app you want. And most importantly, you can download MHD. So you can have all your MHD tuning capabilities all within your radio without needing to run an external tablet or whatever setup that you have right now. Boom, I got all my gauges and it looks pretty good. Looks pretty OEM. I know it's a little low, but you know, if you're running logs or whatever, you can just record it. But yeah, that's about it. Alright guys, so right now I got YouTube pulled up. Obviously, make sure you guys like and subscribe. But from here, I can just turn up the volume. So that's kind of like the audio test for you guys. I do have a subwoofer in this car. It's a JL Dub 3 with a 2000 watt amp. So maybe the bass was overpowered. I'm not sure. But I got really lucky because my car has the Logic 7 sound system. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like I got the radio and I was super hype and I told two of my buddies to buy it and they both bought it and we all had different like situations or different results, right? So my buddy with the Logic 7, he had issues like for days. So if you do have a Logic 7, you need to buy their decoder box that they sell from their website, and it's another $100, which kind of sucks. But basically, you plug that into the fiber optic system in your car that it already exists, and then you should be good. But what happened with my friend, he bought the decoder box, he installed everything just like me. Like, the install is super straightforward because all the harnesses are plug and play. They just snap right in. But he had so many issues with like his audio. His SOS light was coming on because the fiber optic loop wasn't closed. I don't know if he got a bad decoder box or what, but he ended up just taking it out. So that was situation number one. Situation number two, my buddy did not have Logic 7, and then he plugged everything up and it worked, but he didn't have audio in the front speakers. Super weird. We couldn't figure it out. So he even contacted EONON. They're a Chinese company, but they actually got back to him pretty quickly. They sent him another radio, I think, a motherboard. It was like a month long of like, you know, just sending him stuff and trying to update the firmware and seeing what the issue was. They never figured it out. So what he did was he just took it to an audio store, and they ended up just hardwiring the speakers from the car to the actual radio. Because on the back of this radio, on the harness, there's a lot of inputs that you can put in. So basically what they did was they wired that to RCAs and then wired it directly to the speaker or to the radio, which I think is probably the best case scenario because you're running it directly from the radio and your audio probably is going to be really good. I'm not too big into audio. Like, I've always had a subwoofer, but audio is just a whole nother thing too. Like I said, I got lucky and mine worked perfectly. I didn't have to do anything. I just plugged it in. So results may vary. I do know they will email you back and try to come up with a solution. But yeah, results may vary. And I mean, it's a $280 radio. So, you know, you get what you pay for, obviously. But my personal opinion is I love having all these perks, having my MHD, having my YouTube, having everything on my radio. Like, people ask me if I sacrifice like any audio like the quality. I don't think so. Mine sounds pretty good because I have a subwoofer too. So like I said, results may vary. Last thing I want to talk about is it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if you're a peasant. Basically the way I have it is it got these USBs right here. So whenever I am driving it, I just plug up my iPhone, and then Apple CarPlay connects automatically, which is nice because I use that for Google Maps, my music, and all that stuff. And all you guys know what Apple CarPlay is, so I'm not even going to make a big deal about recording it. Some other things with the radio is the EQ, whole bunch of settings. You know, like, I haven't even really messed with it yet. And I'm sure there's a lot more stuff that I can do with this radio. I just like it because MHD, YouTube, and Apple CarPlay. And, oh yeah, I also bought a backup camera from Amazon. So now I have a backup camera, which is pretty nice. What else? Oh yeah, so like if you open your door or whatever, it has some of that stuff hooked up because it's hooked up to the factory system. So anything that your car would regularly read, it would pop up on this radio. Yeah, but like I said, it's a $280 radio from China. It's an Android-based radio. Results may vary. It's pretty cheap. I think it's worth it for all the amenities that you get, but there's obviously some quirks and bugs that you got to work with. Hopefully your situation's like mine where you plug it up and it works just fine, and hopefully you don't have to do anything else. But the key takeaways are, hey, if you have Logic 7, you got to buy a decoder box, so add another $100 on there. And then if you don't have Logic 7, I hope it works out. So appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I think that'll be it for this video.